Y hey, muy buenas a todos, ¿qué tal están? Espero que bien. Aquí Lobos comentando, estamos con un nuevo vídeo de Honkai Star Rail. Y ahora sí nos encontramos en la parte 53, no como la anterior vez que me equivoqué, o capaz que ya estamos en la 54 y ni nada me di, pero XD. Bueno, estamos aquí con la Hyacine. O sea, estamos con en la perspectiva de la Hyacine, aquí está, pero como ya le tengo al personaje no me voy a cambiar. no le voy a poner al de la historia, ya tengo el mío, ¿para qué? En resumen, se viene la peleita contra el águila. Y ahorita la Hyacine está despejando un poco, bueno, o sea, despejando entre comillas la mente, porque más bien está recordando sus... sí.
Now, each of you will head off on your own path. How much the Grove's teachings can help you in the real world depends on how well you can put knowledge into practice.
Mi novia.
However, heed this warning. If you ever do anything disgraceful out there, don't ever claim you were the student of Anaxagoras, one of the 7 sages.
Professor Anaxa, there are still other classes scheduled on the calendar. Are you sure you didn't?
Firstly, call me Professor Anaxagoras. Secondly, to clarify, the last lesson means the last lesson I will teach you. I will be entering seclusion from today onwards to research ancient alchemy, and all my teaching activities will be put on hold.
Ah, I see. So you're saying that the lessons taught by all the other teachers aren't good enough to be considered lessons?
Jodido Faino.
All you do every day is wag that sharp tongue of yours. That's a credit deduction, fine enough IDs Elysiae.
¿Qué fue esa risita?
I have nothing left to say. Next.
Please wait, Professor.
No le había escuchado reír casi nunca en... Bueno, sí.
According to the Grove's protocols for
No, de hecho.
final class, the lecturer should take some time in that lesson to discuss the students' post-graduation aspirations with them and guide them toward a solid path. Surely you can't skip such a crucial step, Professor.
La Hyacine ahí como la típica matada y chucha.
The teaching assistant, Miss Hyacine, is truly Professor Anaxa's nemesis.
Fine. Since Hyacynthia insists on this, let's go through the process. Since some of you are so eager to speak, why don't we start with you, Final of Idols Elysiae? What is your post-graduation aspiration?
Me? Well, it's not exactly an aspiration, but the only thing I want to do is to protect the people I care about.
I see. So you want to be a hero? How boring.
¡Qué aburrido!
I didn't say.
¡Qué bonito es verla reírse continuamente!
Castorus, you've been giggling for quite some time. How about you go next?
Ahí está la típica que se ríe.
Is a bit vague and meaningless, Professor Anaxagoras, but I hope the world can be freed from the agony of death, so that every living being may find calming peace.
How naive. So naive that it makes me want to weep for your fairy tale. See, this is why I don't want to follow those outdated protocols. All I get are boring answers. Since you suggested this whole process, why don't you wrap this up, Hyacynthia?
Y los estudiantes de relleno, literalmente de relleno.
Yours stands out.
So it's finally my turn. Good thing I came prepared.
Interesting description. Do explain, assistant.
I've read all of Amphorius's heroic epics while studying at the Grove, and a common thread came to my attention. Almost every epic ends with a description of the hero's achievements. But few mention how the everyday people of that time lived. No one recorded the struggles and suffering the commoners endured.
So you're saying that, instead of legendary heroes, you're more focused on commoners living on the peripheries of historical records.
Perhaps I'm influenced by my background. My ancestor, Seliosi the Day Thunder Knight, raised her spear against the sky and ushered in the flame-chasing era that continues to this day. Her story is told to every child descended from the Skyfolk. We have no doubts about Seliosi's greatness, yet her towering figure overshadowed every record from that entire era. What about the Day Thunder Knight's family, allies, and friends? What about the survivors and those who died in the great battles? Whenever I think about their stories by the campfire, I realize the details of those legends have been long lost. And only Seliosi's name remains.
Tiene un punto.
Her brilliance had become as blinding as Aquila's, lording over everything on the ground. That's why I'm glad that my era does not lack heroes. All my ancestors had was a sad past. But I have a future I want to protect. Instead of becoming a hero and ushering in a golden deluge to baptize the world anew, I want to stay in the backline and save all the ordinary humans from drowning in the rising waves. I wish not to return to the sky, but to walk among the masses on Earth. I believe it's the only way for the saga of creation. To include a footnote for the everyday people in its blank page.
Curiously.
I'm getting embarrassed from remembering how I said all that. But my beliefs have never changed. Now I really have a chance to stay behind the hero's front line and realize my dream.
¿Hyacine?
Denny, what are you doing here?
No esperaba volver a verte en el Soto. Fai nos dijo que estabas preparándote para la batalla contra Aquila. Estás aquí para...
You guessed it. To reach Aquila's realm in the sky, descendants of the Sky People must perform a bloodline ceremony, summon the spirits of our ancestors, and get their blessings.
What the fuck?
That's the only way for creatures on Earth to forge the rainbow bridge to the sky. And the soul of the first ancestor I want to see is here in the grove.
El puente arcoíris es indispensable para recuperar la yesca de Aquila, pero realizar una ceremonia tan importante tú sola es demasiado arriesgado.
Don't worry, I have little Ika with me. You will protect me, won't you?
Considerando que esta cosa es capaz de pegar 500,000, o sea...
Good, Ika. Well, what brings you here, Danny?
Solo que la mía le falta daño crítico y por eso no pega los 500,000. Solo pega 100k, así, o sea... No, creo que ha llegado a pegar como unos 300k en su máximo, pero... Que poquito no es, pero... Mucho tampoco. A ver, estoy recopilando todos los mitos y estudios que puedo sobre titanes. Cuando regrese al expreso astral, todo lo que tenga que sobre Amphoreus será una valiosa adición a los archivos.
Right. If all goes as planned, you and Gray will be able to go home after this mission, won't you?
¿Por qué me empezó a decir? ¿Por qué ella me dijo? No, ¿quién dijo? ¿Quién me empezó a decir eso? Ni si la... No, ay, no, ya ni idea. Sí, si realmente pudiéramos romper la maldición del mundo de más allá del cielo, pero algo me dice que no será tan fácil.
Could it be that you too have some kind of hidden powers to make prophecies now?
Bueno, de adivinación no tiene, pero de otras cosas sí. No, pero estoy empezando a cuestionarme de las cosas que he creído después de hablar de un miembro del Consejo de Ancianos.
No, I didn't understand that either, little Ika.
No te preocupes. Hay muchas cosas que no entiendo todavía.
Since we've already met up, why don't you come with me, Danny?
Estaba pensando lo mismo. El Suto es peligroso en este momento, así que en un par de manos extras te vendrá muy bien.
That's the dependable express guard for you. So, should we get going?
Vámonos, todavía me quedan 4 GB. O sea, creo que me alcanza siquiera para un videito de 40 minutos. Entonces, antes de tener que vaciar de nuevo la PC. Entonces, vámonos de aquí. ¡Uy!
The chroma copper is vibrating. Must be memories of an ancestor.
Sí la tiene. Joder. ¿Qué es esto?
This is the divine object of the Sky People, the chroma coffer. Our ancestors dictated that when a descendant of the Skyfolk is ready to challenge Aquila again, they must first awaken the spirits of their ancestors with the chroma coffer and receive their benediction. Only after this can the chosen Skyfolk reascend to the heavens.
Es para evitar que quienes no estén preparados pierdan la vida en vano.
Very prudent, wouldn't you say? The soul of an ancestor slumbers here. Now, I will awaken them.
Sí.
I
Joder,
am
hazlo,
Cynthia
Hyacine, hazlo.
from the Twilight Courtyard, a descendant of the sky who has inherited the duty of a flame chase. The time has come to fulfill our clan's destiny. I will join the heroes of the prophecy to return to the sky and retrieve the core flame. Ancestor, please bestow upon me your generous blessing.
Escuchar la conversación de Hyacine con su ancestro, y la verdad yo quiero escuchar, ¿sabes?
Who has awakened me?
It's Hi, Cynthia, a descendant of the Sky People. I apologize for interrupting your slumber. You are Lord Crispus, aren't you? I've read your story in our family tree. You were a righteous judge who vindicated many who were wrongfully accused.
I never imagined someone in this era would still remember my name. So, our bloodline and duty have continued to this distant age.
Indeed, it has. I have awakened you in the hope of receiving your blessing. For the flame chase journey is nearing its perfect conclusion. And retrieving the core flame of Aquila is the final challenge the heroes will face.
Perfect conclusion. Hyacine, you look very young, and you do not have the bearings of a warrior who can contend with a
Créeme, pega 500k, o sea, uff.
How can you convince me that this blessing will not turn into a curse, leading a child like you to your demise?
1,000 years ago, Seliosi, who conquered the skies, left behind legends and a will, entrusting the mission to return the Sky Titan's core flame to her descendants, to people like you and me. Though I'm not a warrior, I will not turn away from the mission that has flowed through our blood for 1,000 years. And I am not fighting alone. I have the strongest and most tenacious companions in the world. Amphorius is in an era brimming with heroes. The burden of retrieving Aquila's core flame no longer rests solely on the shoulders of the chosen Skyfolk. I now wield the power of healing. I aim to mend the fissures in the sky and heal the wounds of the people. I desire to define the mission of the Skyfolk in my own terms, to conclude the vigil that has spanned millennia.
I sense resilience in your words. Not an outward resilience, but something deeper within. Receive my blessings, young Hyacinthia. May you gain wings to return to the sky via the bridge of rainbows.
Thank you for your trust, Lord Crispus. We won't let you down.
Bien hecho, Hyacine.
Thank you. My ancestors were all pretty strong-willed people. It won't be easy convincing them. I've run through these upcoming conversations in my head more times than I can count.
Parece que todos tus esfuerzos valieron la pena.
Now, the next ancestor on the list. Her spirit is said to rest in the vortex of Genesis. Pity that the ceremony has to be performed in strict order. Shall we head back to Akuma together, Danny?
El vórtice de la creación. En ese caso tengo una propuesta. ¿Recuerdas cuando me sugeriste estudiar la magia del agua espiritual de los sacerdotes de Fausa? He estado practicando en mi tiempo libre y he obtenido algunos resultados. Ahora, mientras lleve agua espiritual conmigo, puedo usar esa magia para trazar un camino hacia el vórtice de la creación. Se hace TP, literalmente.
Remember, I didn't expect you to keep at it this long. That's so like you, Danny.
Comparadas con las de mi hogar, las corrientes de agua de Amphorius son bastante más libres. No es fácil domarlas, pero creo que ya he tomado en contra del truco.
That makes sense. Bagusa was always described as a fickle titan in the myths. Since you're offering, then let me put your skills to the test, Danny.
El portal de agua espiritual que creé con esta magia no es tan estable como la de la pileta. Es probable que solo una persona pueda pasar. Y tal como la diseñaron los sacerdotes de Fausta, la entrada es también la salida. Cuando hayas terminado y te encuentro con el alma de tu ancestro, tendrás que regresar a través del vórtice, y que yo esperaremos aquí.
Got it. I'm counting on you, Danny.
Que bajo sus alocados pasos de baile el clamor de la celebración cubra el latido del mundo. Agua espiritual revela el portal.
The vortex of Genesis. Unbelievable. Danny is full of surprises. This does feel way more disorienting than the ritual basin. Wait, is Lady Treeby here too? And who's that next to her? Oh, I think I know who that is.
Do you have to go already, Syphie? It's been ages since you were last in Akuma. You could have taken some time to rest, and we could have caught up.
Man, pobre niña, está más traumatizada que la chupa. Se han muerto todos y esta sigue viva.
Sister Treeby. I've gotten used to life on the road. Staying in this bustling city actually feels off. Besides, your prize student gave me an incredibly tough mission to handle.
Cut Snowy some slack, Syphie. He's still so young, yet he's shouldering all the responsibilities Aggie left behind. Besides, Snowy's not the kind to ask for help lightly. Since he came to you, it means you're the best person for the job.
You really spoil him, Big Sis Treeby.
Guess I'm past the age for someone to look after me. Syphie.
Just kidding. I get it. That deliverer boy does have a certain charisma about him. He reminds me of Aglaia in her prime. Anyway, I'm about to head out. Oh, Big Sis Treeby, before I go,
Big
got a
sis.
little gift for you.
Well, didn't expect you to be so thoughtful. What's in it?
That's a part of the game too. If you want to see the full picture of what's inside, you'll have to wait until nightfall.
A gift with a mysterious twist? Seriously?
Oh, looks like we have company.
Lady Treeby, and this graceful lady must be Miss Cypher. I'm Hyacinthia from the Twilight Courtyard. Everyone calls me Hyacine. Pleased to meet you.
Bright and cheery as a lamp. Well, hello there, pink child. I'm Cyphera from the long-fallen city-state of Dolos. As for the rest, it's all in the history books, so I don't need to repeat it here. So,
Habla
you're
demasiado
from the
rápido
Twilight
esta weá,
Courtyard.
ni siquiera me da tiempo
Does
de...
that mean
Yes, I'm a descendant of the Sky People, the Chrysos heir about to take over the authority of Sky.
Whoa! That's unexpected. I figured Celiosi's descendant would be, I don't know, taller, stronger.
Don't judge a book by
Pobrecita.
its cover, Syphie. Zinni is a master of her
Bueno,
craft.
¿cómo le pone apodos bonitos a todos? Es muy bonito, pero o sea, considerando que literalmente 3 de estas empiezan con C, tienes a Syphie, a Saini y a Cassie. O sea, what the fuck.
Don't worry, Lady Cypher. I may not be as strong and warlike as Lady Celiosi from 1,000 years ago, but I'm confident I can carry out the mission of the Sky Folk.
All this talk about missions, you're making it sound way too serious. You've got to look out for yourself, girl. Don't push yourself too hard. I'd hate to see that cute face all scratched out by Aquilus' claws.
Syphie cracking jokes. Looks like you haven't forgotten what Aggie said all those years ago.
Anyway, I've got a mission to handle, so I'll get going. Good luck, Miss Hyacine. And if things get tough, just let that deliverer take the lead.
Miss Cypher is in such a hurry.
Don't worry, she's always been like that. It's good to have her back in Alchema lending a hand. Well, enough about her for now. You're here because of your mission, aren't you, Zinni? It's the perfect opportunity for me to go and tuck Syphie's gift away somewhere safe. The Vortex of Genesis is all yours.
Joder, y le dejaron solita.
I will join the heroes of the prophecy to return to the sky and retrieve the core flame. Ancestor, please bestow upon me your generous blessing.
Saltar esta narrativa, amor. Ya, y no lo sé, Rey. Voy a hablar con el ancestro. Pero...
Child, what brings you before me? Could it be you're a descendant of the Sky People?
Yes, I am Hyacinthia of the Twilight Courtyard, the successor of the Sky People's Flame Chase duty. You must be Gem Electra. Legend has it that during the Chrysos War, you led our people to ally with Akama and held back the Kremlin forces. It was your victory that earned the Sky People a place in the Holy City.
Hyacinthia, you seem well versed in our clan's history. And this is the vortex of Genesis?
It is. Look, 10 stars have already been lit. The Chrysos heir's flame-teased journey is nearing its end.
Are those the core flames of Fagusa and Giorios? Does that mean Hyacines and the Mountain Dwellers successfully carried out their duty? As fellow pillars of Amphorius, who would have thought that Sky's duty could only be fulfilled
Hyacine.
after 1,000
Es la tercera
years?
vez que la nombran.
It's because Sky shelters all beneath it. If it were to shatter, the world would fall apart with it. That's why Lady Aglaya made the core flame of Aquila the final step in our campaign.
Aglaya? Is she still on the flame-chased journey after 1,000 years?
Se murió hace 2 días.
Unfortunately, she has recently left us. But you're right. She was indeed still guiding the Chrysos heirs forward.
Incredible. That girl actually managed to endure the merciless erosion of time, and lasted for so long. Answer me, Hyacinthia. Since you recognize me, you must have also read my writings, no?
Every record regarding my lineage is etched in my memory, including your words.
In that case, you're probably aware of the prophecy I sought from a certain Trebios.
Yes. At the end of the Rainbow Bridge, the Sky Folk will mend dusk and dawn. But unfortunately, no ancestor has ever been able to truly decipher its meaning.
I see. Yet Trebios's prophecies never fail. Perhaps you'll be the one to witness its fulfillment, child. May the prophecy lead you to a gentle fate.
Thank you, Lady Ektra. Whatever fate the prophecy holds, I'll face it head on. It's only by giving everything we have that we can truly accept any outcome with a smile. Won't you agree?
I like you, child. I wish this conversation could go on a little longer. Take my blessing, Hyacinthia. When I first saw you, I indeed had my doubts. But your resolve has touched me. If Sky's divinity is fated to pass on, I hope it incorporates your optimism and kindness.
Your blessing is a treasure beyond measure, General. Rest well. I'll make sure your gift is put to its best use. General Ektra is so different from how the records described her. She's quite a gentle person. All right, time to head back to the grove. I shouldn't keep Danny and little Ika waiting.
¿Regresaste? ¿Cómo te fue?
It went great. Your spirit water art was a huge help, Danny.
¿Qué te dijo el alma heroica de tu ancestro? ¿Puedes contármelo? Hyacine le cuenta a Duncan sobre su conversación con la general Ektra. Solo es Ektra, no Electra.
What's
Okay.
wrong, Danny?
Nada, parece que todo salió bien. Eso es lo que estoy un poco preocupado por la profecía que mencionaste. El extremo del puente arcoíris, un hijo del cielo inventará el ocaso y a la aurora. Por alguna razón puedo sentir un ligero sentimiento de tristeza en esas
You've
palabras.
always been a bit of a sensitive soul, haven't you, Danny? Lady Trinan deciphers countless prophecies every day, and this one's just another among many. Don't worry too much about it.
Eso espero.
Come on, Danny. Don't look so gloomy. We're gonna have to take a long trip for the final visit to the ancestors.
¿A dónde vamos?
Final stop is Lord Mighty's home.
A Castum, creo, no puede ser. Let you cut me open. Just you watch me bleed. Baby, who I am for who you wanted to be.
We're here. This is it.
Castrum
Lord
Kremnos.
Mighty has been fighting the Black Tide here, alone day after day. I'm worried about him.
Hace un rato envió un mensaje a través de un trueno. Nos avisó que debíamos estar alerta con el roballamas.
That means he hasn't been consumed by the Black Tide's madness yet. We're here to complete an important mission. We shouldn't interfere with this battlefield. Don't you agree, Danny?
Estoy de acuerdo.
There. That sleeping spirit is my grandmother.
What the fuck? ¿Tu abuela?
Yes, my grandmother Jacintha was a warrior. She represented the Twilight Courtyard in the Kremnos Festival.
Me suena que esta le vimos en
She
el...
fought her way through every challenge and reached the final stage of the Kremnos Festival. She was just one step away from securing a peace treaty for the Skyfolk, but was ultimately defeated by the champion warrior of that time. I've never looked too deeply into the details of such ritualistic violence. The scroll simply described it as a glorious duel. But behind the glorious duel was a tragic end. Not long after the festival, my grandmother's injuries worsened, and she passed away far from home. This prophecy tablet was left here by the Kremnoans to honor her final wish. Her death marked the final collapse of the Twilight Courtyard, already fragile under the shadow of war.
El guerrero de Kremnos que luchó contra ella.
Was Lord Gretaros.
Y tú le salvaste la vida, a pesar de que él te arrebató a alguien de tu familia.
Seeing him lying there, gravely wounded, bleeding out, I can't put what I felt at that moment into words. But when I heard Lord Gretaros took that fatal blow to protect Lady Trianne, all those tangled feelings faded away. To quote Lord Finan, Gretaros must have done that to become a better man.
Solo un alma fuerte puede aprender a perdonar. Estás a la altura de tus ancestros, Hyacine.
You're getting better at this, Danny. In her final diary entry, my grandmother wrote that when the moment of destiny comes, a descendant of the Sky People will deliver the message of their departure to her spirit. I wonder what she'd think when the one awaking her turns out to be her beloved granddaughter. I will join the heroes of the prophecy to return to the sky and retrieve the pure flame. Ancestor, please bestow upon me your generous blessing.
Esta me interesa. Jacinta.
Is this the world of the living? Wait. You...
Grandmother, it's me. You're Cynthia.
Cynthia. My wonder how good. Why? How? Why is it you who awakened me? I have never imagined this. I thought I would feel happy for all my ancestors when this day came, but now I can't even experience the joy of seeing you again.
Do you remember that you and Father took me to my very first skyride when I was 8? Back then, you wanted me to pick one accessory out of 4. The sun crown representing nobility, the storm bracelet symbolizing strength, the ice ring embodying wisdom, and the radiant pendant signifying kindness. Grandmother, do you remember the one I chose?
You
spoke an innocent little prayer, infusing a faint thread of light to that lightest building.
Yes, and I remember how surprised you were. In all those centuries, no other child of the Sky People had ever made the same choice I did.
Cynthia, there was a time when I thought you were. Temple never had mentioned your sense of words or power, and had no relation to that fiery determination that strengthened our blood. Yet I've told myself, that's not a bad thing. If my heart could live her life in kindness and optimism, then it'd be a good thing. I never thought the burden of retrieving the core flame of Aqua would fall to you.
Don't worry about me, Grandmother. I believe what makes someone a Skyfolk isn't just outstanding strength, but the capacity to shape the world. When the world prayed out for a hero to challenge the gods 1,000 years ago, Deliosa stepped forward and began the flame-chasing era. And now, as the flame-chase journey nears its end, this broken world is crying out for something else. Healing. Isn't that poetic? A saga that spans 1,000 years began with Sky and will also end with Sky.
You're still as optimistic as ever, just like when you were a kid. If your mind is set, Cynthia, then carry your resolve through to the very end. Return to the sky with my blessing, and watch over this world on the threshold of salvation.
Grandmother, thank you. I have one last request.
Speak, Cynthia. We should still have some time.
Before you go, could you tell me the tale of the Sky Girl once more?
Then listen closely, my dearest hummingbird. After all, this will be the last time. For millennia, the Titans waged relentless wars, leaving the world scarred and ravaged. A century of the Chrysos War plunged the nations into chaos and decay until a spear, fueled by mortal rage, pierced through the smoke and flames that buried the prophecy of deliverance. Aqua, the celestial shaper, the 100-eyed divine bird crowned with the
Listo, todo el capítulo buscando miniaturas. Esto valió la pena escuchar a las tipos hablar. Portadora del trono.
struck blind in 99 eyes by Nicanor. They kept one eye glaring at the children of twilight who received divine blessing, yet turned their weapons against the gods. The Chrysos heir of the sky, Seleucid, the Day Thunder Knight, assailed the forbidden lands of the Eye of Twilight at dusk, clad in wings. To her left was the lion-headed Sorbus the Sunlit Winds, whose roars breathed divine flames and scorched the world. To her right was the horse-bodied Lupus the Moonlit Plume, whose graceful steps trampled the stars in the heavens. The one warrior and her two beasts challenged the ruler of the sky, determined to seize the divine core flame through plunder. The Titans' every roar summoned lightning bolts, and their every movement stirred cyclones. The wounded Titan's blood poured down like boiling rain upon the world and converged into scalding torrents. In the final moments of battle, the sunlit wings set the Titan's wings aflame, while the moonlit plume sealed the divine body. The battered hero of the sky, with her wings broken and her body covered in wounds, struggled to lift her spear. The Titan's divine body crashed to the ground. And with it, the sky tore apart like fabric, about to fall with its god. The fear and pleas of mortals urged the hero of the sky to rise again. Seliosi, the Day Thunder Knight, the first of the Chrysos heirs to slay a god in this world, charged into the crumbling body of Aquila with her two fearless winged companions. She merged with the Titan, holding up the sky once more. My descendants will be blessed and cross the rainbow bridge back to the sky. At the end of the prophecy of Genesis, they will reclaim the core flame from my hands.
Joder, qué buena historia. Al menos saqué miniatura. Que inventarme miniaturas cuando no hay miniatura es muy difícil.
Today's the day.
Wow, I didn't expect it to be so lively up here. Are these people here to send off the Chrysos heirs?
Ya así de rápido nos vamos ya contra el Águila. Ay, Dios.
There's Vina. Let's go talk to him.
Bueno. Entonces, lo voy a dejar aquí. Espero que les haya gustado. No olviden dar like, suscribirse. Sean felices, vivan sus vidas, tomen agua y nos vemos en la siguiente ocasión. Chao, chao.
We fight, we strive, our journey of eternity, desire in mind to set our spirits free. Echoes fade to oblivion, freedom to make our own. We draw the destinies on a path unknown with you. Rejoice.